Introducing Team AIMM. Our great team of motivated and able workers at AIMM are dedicated to bringing about change in the lives of the refugees and migrants that have been displaced as a consequence of the disturbance and violence in the Republic of Mali. Our trusted team includes the following members: Nathan Huang, Audrey Randell, Atharv Avad, Maven Bedoys, Madeline Farrell, and Lev Heller. AIMM, which stands for Aid in Mali's Migration, is an internationally connected and funded non-governmental organization with a mission to rescue and provide care, aid, and housing for displaced migrants in Mali. Our vision holds a commitment to reduce displacement of population in sub-Saharan Africa through resource distribution and sustainable management of migrant populations within 5 years. The focus topic and ultimate priority of our organization is to facilitate and ensure the safe and peaceful relocation and sustenance of the displaced populations in northern Mali. Within the time frame of exactly 5 years, AIMM is committed to building 100 houses complete with water and electricity where the migrants can be relocated. Currently, extreme poverty and violence are the primary adversaries that surround Mali. The United Nations Human Development Index places Mali at a rank of 182 out of 188 in its development list, which is extremely poor and reflects the adversity of the challenge facing the migrants in Mali.
Our first objective is to improve public health of migrants by providing food, water, and basic shelter, as well as medical care to displaced persons at a set location in southern Mali. The biggest risk is countering violence from militant groups, the Islamic State, and local militias, all of which have shown a pattern of violence against non-government and aid organizations, which enable them to control food and resources meant for the migrants in order to exert more control and influence over the population. To mitigate this risk, AIMM will partner with the United Nations Multidimensional Integrated Stabilization Mission in Mali to provide safety over the migrants and their food sources. A measure of success will be death rates before and after implementation of intervention, isolating intervention as a factor of change using multiple regression.
Our second objective is to improve the refugees' living conditions by providing the necessary tools and machines to build 100 permanent houses with running water, electricity, proper sanitation through in-home educational lessons within 5 years. One risk might be maintaining the quality of amenities in the houses over time due to the high volume of refugees. To mitigate the risk, technician, electrician, and plumber training will be offered with incentives. To measure our success, we would monitor at least each year the number of people and houses which are consistently being used and created. Also, measure the proportion of people who remain in temporary housing.
Our third objective is to increase the productive capacity of Mali's agricultural sector by teaching refugees sustainable farming practices. It will enable them to become self-sufficient and economically independent in the future and not rely on foreign aid to meet their food needs. The biggest risk we may face is the availability of fertile land capable of producing sufficient yield. The best way to mitigate this issue is to use farming practices adapted for areas like Mali, such as drip irrigation, polyculture, and permaculture. To evaluate our success, we will measure the use of these farming practices before and after education, and the food output before and after the use of these techniques are implemented.
Within 5 years of start date, our organization aims to achieve the construction of 100 houses with running water and other infrastructural needs, the increase of crop yields by a minimum of 10%, and the reduction of premature death rates from preventable causes by 20% for those in our target group. These goals are achievable by minimizing costs using lands with whatever existing infrastructure is possible, such as an existing water supply or sanitation system, the use of solar panels to supply electricity rather than building an entire electrical grid, the employment of refugee labor to accelerate construction rates, and looking at goals of other organizations, such as the UN Sustainable Development Goal such as a 20-year goal of a 40% reduction in mortality from preventable causes.